Where'd you get this marijuana? Oh, I grew it. Where'd you grow it? In my house.
So if you don't say anything, just while you're working and stuff, if you keep your mouth shut, there's no way they can connect the dots and go, okay, now we're going to your house. And that isn't violating your privacy there.
Not without you giving them some
probable cause to believe.
Okay, so there is no law that if your car, they found some, the dog triggered on the car, they search your car without your consent, obviously. But there's nothing that allows them to go the next step, even if they can't open your car, they can't step to your house.
Got it.
Not automatically, but I had a case where a guy got pulled over, and they actually looked through his phone and saw photos of a growing operation, which ended up being in his backyard. They also found in the trunk some fertilizer, some soil. Now he had some rental properties and actually was using this other stuff innocently, gardening. But when you put that together with the pictures on the phone, which may or may not be a legal search, I mean, that's another issue, whether they can, you know, don't take photos of your garden and put them on your phone to show all your buddies. You know, yeah, Facebook, not so much. So be careful. You know, most of the people, it's interesting, most of the people who come to see us prophylactically, meaning I want to know what the law is, they tend not to get busted. It's the people that come to us later, and we've all heard the stupid stories. The worst one is, I left my grow room unlocked because I went out to answer the door. And it was the cops. And then they came in and said, how come your grow room's unlocked? And it's like, you idiots, I just came out here to answer the door. So, you know, put an automatic closer on there, let that sucker close. Or just don't give them any reason. And if something bad does happen, there's nothing you can do about it. Just go and write down your version of what happened without talking to anybody else, so you can use it to refresh your memory later when you're fighting the bad search. But exactly what the police officer said and did, he stuck his foot in the door, he pushed by me and said blah, blah, blah. So, anyway, Jerry?
No, we're not trying to rush him out because of the ban, but they're gonna go through, give closing comments, and then they're gonna, I don't know, you guys probably all go over to the tent, and then if you have more questions, go ahead and ask them. I'm not gonna preach, but I just want to say the comment about the cash cow, that really wasn't too cool, because when I first started UP Normal up here, we had no direction, and when we would reach out to attorneys, we'd either say, one told me, I don't want to be a pioneer, and I've had some that basically we knew more about the law than they did, and they had no interest in the law. I think we've probably known people that had to go to a court-appointed attorney and get some protection, do a cannabis violation, and how'd that go? Probably didn't go too good. When we first started off, everybody, Matt Abel. He still is the man there. But and then we had a meeting in Marquette, and Attorney Targowski, he came up. He started showing an interest. And then I met Attorney Lacoste here, and I know of several people here in the UP that she's already saved their butts. And now, Attorney Levine's working with him. They're focusing on protecting us. I mean, if they were really after a cash cow, they wouldn't be here to try and tell you how to avoid getting in trouble. So that's just that. But and Dan, he's working with John now over there helping people. A lot of the shit you hear about negative on attorneys is put out by the same people who are trying to stop this law. They put out the propaganda, the negative things about them, because they don't want you to see them as people who are positive trying to help you. So don't buy into that cheap bullshit that you hear. So they're going to go through and give you some closing remarks, and then if you have more questions, I'm sure they would be very glad to help you. All right.
Before I hit the closing, on the other hand, don't let them kid you. we're not cheap. If you get busted, it's expensive. So don't get busted. You're getting free advice now. Get one of my business cards. There's 4 pointers on the back. The first one is the cops can and will lie to you. So, yeah. That was the promo, right?
Hell yeah.
You know what? One thing that I've learned in the last year, since the last 2 years since I've been up here to Marquette, is there's a real lack of credibility with medical marijuana, I think, among prosecutors and among other lawyers. And that's because the people that really come into the courthouse generally are people that don't drive well, get pulled over, or don't, you know, they don't know how to answer the door, or they're having foot traffic, or they're really doing something they shouldn't be doing, or, you know, sometimes it's because the cops don't understand the law and and you're doing something legal, but the cops don't think they're doing something legal, and there's some intersection there. But really, it's kind of the people that push the line that end up in the courthouse, and that's where you get bad decisions. That's where you get, you know, I mean, the King case in closed lock facility is somebody grew in a dog kennel. And now, because of that, if you come to us, I'm going to tell you better, you know, be grown in Fort Knox. You know, I mean, because I personally, I think if you're open to the sky, you have some legal jeopardy. But I mean, really, that's a way you should grow. I mean, that should be a legally viable way. That if you could keep it safe and secure, but open to the sky, you should be able to grow there. But after bad facts, you get bad case law, and that's where we're at. So I would just, you know, keep that in mind, is that's sort of what's happening, is the people that are making these decisions are not the people that come to these types of festivals. They're the types of people that run for office, and they view this as a, you know, sort of semi-scary subject, medical marijuana. So there's some credibility, and I think it's on us to raise the credibility of the medical experience, the doctors, and also of you know, what we're doing. We all have to kind of be ambassadors of this to people. I mean, we were over the Dreamland Motel, and Dan and we were having lunch, and there was, you know, people next door were not, I guess, from this festival. They were just passing through, saying something, you know, some derogatory stuff, and I'm just like, you know, I think some of the stuff that we see here and we do kind of reinforces some stereotypes. And those are important, because the people, the 63% of people that voted for this are not the people that maybe, you know, would have voted for a dispensary ordinance or, you know, per se. I mean, we got to remember that 63% voted for this act, but there's a difference between, you know, home-based growing and, you know, California-style Venice Beach experience, which some people aren't ready for, unfortunately. So, and I actually am kind of looking for a reason to come back up here, so if anybody has an interesting case they want to come talk to me about, I would come back up here.
Just to carry on, I guess, with that, some of the best advice I ever heard, a bunch of lawyers were all talking on a forum at one point, and, you know, the idea of tell your clients that if they start treating it like medicine, the police will start treating it like medicine. And I think that's carrying on to what John said. A lot of the cases that we see, sometimes our law enforcement not understanding the law, going too far, getting search warrants when the search warrant shouldn't be granted. But other times, it's clients who don't treat it like medicine. And you know, what we can do is encourage our friends and family and people who are using to treat it like medicine, to use smart things. And the other thing that bothers me is I have so many clients who just want to comply with the law, like all of you here. They want answers. What does locked and closed facility mean? And we've even gone to the prosecutor. Tell us what you want. We'll do it. You want a padlock? We'll put a padlock. You want a wood door? We'll put a wood door. Just tell us what you want and we'll do it. And they don't know what they want. So thank you for having us. We will be around and we appreciate the time.